Okay class, I've got some good news and I've got some bad news. The good news is that we got the Fall of Man edition. The bad news is that it was online pre-order, so the package won't be here by release date. So instead of a video about Shin Megami Tensei V, you have this. Greetings from the far side of the galaxy, I'm Fury, your host with the most, here to bring you a story about Ghost. Actually, I'm talking about demons. Well, there are some ghost demons like Poltergeist, but I'm getting super off track. Welcome to Fury's Major Key. Get it? It's like the lesser key of Salmon, but me. The basic idea for the series is that I run you through all the information I can find on a certain set of demons from the SMT series. Sounds fun, doesn't it? Some may say this is a ripoff of Fyther and Yarly's Demonology and Compendium series, and to that I say, kinda. Copyright, inspiration aside, please like and subscribe and let's get started with this video. Today, we are looking at one of the most iconic demons in all of the Atlas's repertoire, Jack Frost and the rest of his frosty family. An elf-like creature who is the embodiment of all that is cool. It is said that he is the one who leaves those beautiful icy patterns on windows in the morning. Jack Frost is a fairly common demon in the series, fitting its role as Atlas's mascot, usually appearing as a fairly low-level ice demon, usually of the fairy race and magician arcana. He usually comes packaged with a basic set of spells for the early game. The most common and useful moves he tends to know is Bufu and Dio, with the chance of Hama, making it useful as an early demon with instant kills. Although, interestingly enough, in Shin Megami Tensei 2, Jack Frost was a mid-range demon that knew heavy ice skills. In fact, the version of Jack Frost that appears in Persona 5 Strikers is more accurate to its first appearance. For a brief moment in time, SMT2 specifically, he actually appeared as this cute little snowman thing. After that came the iconic Fang smile that we all know and love. He's had an important role in the games as a shopkeeper in Nocturne by the name of Hooo, who later becomes a Black Frost that drops the Saint Magatama upon defeat. In conclusion, as a whole, I rate Jack Frost a 9 out of 10. Would let him call me a hoe again. Before we go, a frosty fun fact. In the Persona 3 movies, the first persona the protagonist switches to is a Jack Frost. Next up is Pyro Jack or Jack-O-Lantern, depending on how the localization team feels today. An Irish spirit seen as flames in the swamp, also known as Jack-O-Lantern, said to be the spirit of a man cursed to wander the earth with a lantern to see in the dark. Actually, the folk story behind Jack-O-Lantern is one of my favorites, so don't begrudge me if I tell it to you for the fun fact at the end of this segment. Just like Jack Frost, Pyro Jack is a super common demon in the series. Much like its colder older brother, Pyro Jack is of the fairy race and magician arcana. Although in the Persona games Atlas likes to pretend don't exist, it was actually of the lover's arcana. It basically fills the same role as Jack Frost, but from the fire standpoint, learning low-level Agi skills, but it doesn't actually learn any dark skills. Although in SMT 4 and 4A, it actually learned mid-level fire skills to make up for that downside. Also, just like its older brother, Pyro Jack has had 2 appearances, the first of which being... Oh. Get it away, I don't like this, get it away! I am so glad that design was scrapped and that its next one basically became universal. Just like Jack Frost, he hasn't had any real major plot relevant roles, instead only showing up mostly for gags. Now that we're at the end, here's the folktale I promised. There once was an Irish malcontent named Jack who invited the devil out for a drink. After convincing old Lord of Sinners to turn himself into a coin to pay for the booze, Jack sticks him in his pocket next to a cross to keep the devil from transforming back. He makes a deal with the devil to leave him alone and not claim his soul for 1 year, to which the devil agrees. A year later, and this idiot gets himself stuck up a tree after Jack carves a cross into the bark. Jack only lets him back down if the devil agrees not to bother him for 10 more years and not claim his soul at all. Probably not the best deal since he dies soon after, and since Jack was kind of a tool, God says no heaven. However, the devil says no hell thanks to the deal Jack made. So he was sent back to wander the world with only a single coal, which he stuck in a turnip to light his way. Honestly, a neat little story that has no real moral or lesson, it's just kinda funny. The next demon in this little family is Jack Ripper? One of these things is not like the other, one of these things just doesn't belong. Anyways, Jack Ripper is based off of the real-world serial killer Jack the Ripper, an old-timey British dude who killed some prostitutes back in the day. He was never caught because they were looking for people instead of an awful little gremlin thing. Like, seriously, what the hell is this? Skin flaps aside, Mr. Ripper is pretty classic, making an appearance in 2, If, Strange Journey, 4, and Apocalypse, Liberation, and of course the pinnacle of gaming perfection, Jack Bros. Always a member of the foul race because he's a foul little fucker, he's the early game physical demon. His skills are actually pretty cool because he tends to learn slash type skills like Tetanus Cut alongside a few status moves. However, to tie back into Jack the Ripper never being caught, he knows moves like Fury and Escape. Shame he doesn't get those in 4, but whatevs. Design wise, he's only had this one design and it's something. I honestly don't know how to describe him. I think he's a gremlin, but The fun fact about this guy is that his only 3D appearance comes from Liberation. In conclusion, a 6 out of 10 needs more stabby. Next up is Harry Jack. I'm just fucking with you, it's King Frost. Here's this quote from Soul Hackers, which I am, not reading. This jolly wally bastard tends to be a mid to high level ice demon of the Emperor Arcana or the Tyrant race. As evident by his design and name, he habitually learns ice skills with a sprinkling of physical. He knows a unique ice skill whose name changes every other game, and sometimes he just doesn't have it. Unlike the others, His Highness has actually been story relevant. In Apocalypse, he's taken over a fairy glade and needs to be fought, and a role in Digital Devil Saga, but I've never played those games, so here's a wiki entry that I don't understand. He shows up as a boss with a minor side quest attached to him, or at least that's what I got from the summary on the Megaton wiki. He's only had 2 real designs in the series, both of which I think are fine, I guess. I prefer the ones with a stack of Jack Frost for reasons, I guess. I don't know, just seems like a neat touch. In conclusion, I rate this king a 7 out of 10, a royal pain in the ass to fight, but a decent demon nonetheless. A fun King Frost fact for all of y'all is that King Frost's 3D design originally comes from Devil Children. Now that the kings did and done, let's move to the next Jack on our list, the illustrious Frost Ace. Thirsting for revenge, Jack Frost donned his ice vest to become the dark hero known as Frost Ace. What will his sorrow-frozen heart choose? Will it be vengeance? Mercy? The gears of fate continue to toy with him. Sorry about that, I just had to indulge in my, dumbassery. As I should have been saying, Frost Ace is what happens when you give a Jack Frost a Batman mask. This little dude is Genma rather than Fairy Race, and he's never actually been in a Persona game. He's the de facto advanced ice demon, which is weird since he fills the same niche as King Frost, just with better resistances. Although, he's usually tied to a side quest while King Frost is easy to make, and I don't think his stats or his skills make up for that. He's had more attention than you'd expect with a full side quest in Imagine that's too long for me to get into here. A side quest in Strange Journey where he asks you to get him a frost vest so he can take revenge for his family, and once you do, he masks up as the illustrious Frost Ace. Frost Ace has pretty much one design with its only 3D appearance coming from Imagine. A fun fact for you is that the song that should be playing in the background of this video is his unique theme from Imagine. After this is the fan favorite, the dark, the mischievous Black Frost. A Jack Frost that grew powerful and evil. These are the evolved form of the peaceable Winter Fairy. They turned from a small prankster into a massively powerful entity. And massively powerful entity is right, Black Frost is consistently a mid to high level demon that specializes in ice, fire, dark, and sometimes physical moves. These demons are the Chad of Chads, the demon you fuse at level 50 and still keep around for when you need to kill God. It's an Atlas favorite that has pretty much appeared in everything from the Rhino games to Persona Q, and every single time he's so cool. I love this little bastard if you haven't been able to tell. His biggest role was probably in Devil Survivor, where he could be saved as a regular Jack Frost before showing up later as an evolved Black Frost. Then you could get Black Frost as a party member, not just a demon to summon, but a party member who could use other demons. I've said this before, and I meant it, but I'll say it again, Black Frost is fucking cool. Black Frost is usually of the Knight, Jackie, or Pagan race and is always of the Full Arcana. He tends to pack only resistances to fire, ice, and dark, and maybe physical with no weaknesses except for light, but that's not even guaranteed. His high damage output, good resistances, and the fact that he usually packs Endure makes him a great choice. Much like Jack Frost, he's an Atlas mascot, so he's been all over promotional material, and we stand him for it. He's had pretty much one design that has a 2D look, a 3D look, a piece in the background of the Persona anime, and a demi-fiendified version for promotional art. Your fun Black Frost fact is that he's the only one in the Jack family to have an N-word pass. I rate Black Frost 9 out of 10, very evil, very huggable. After that comes the newest member of the Jack Frost crew, the illustrious Demon Hooo. He's finally here. The long-awaited rookie steps into the spotlight at last. With his trademark custom mini Demonica, he's seen action all over the world with a 100% success rate. True heroes always show up late. This dude is one of my favorite demons, if only due to the ridiculous concept. He's a Jack Frost decked out in his own Demonica, and that's it. That's just it. He's so new that he only dates back to Strange Journey and has never been in a Persona game, probably due to their lack of Demonicas. Unlike the rest of his family, he doesn't really use elements. Instead, he has a gun for a normal attack and the move Last Judgment, which randomly deals physical almighty damage to the enemy. He's always packed a physical, ice, and fire resistance, so we can actually assume it's a Black Frost decked out in the Demonica rather than a normal Jack Frost. He hasn't been a focus in any main plots, but in Strange Journey Redux he has a series of side quests. All of his quests were just battles with certain restrictions, but upon completion he reveals his true form of Zhao Gongen, which doesn't make any sense considering Zhao is just worse than Demon Hooo. Since he's so new, he's only had this 2D artwork to go with, but I'm 90% sure he's going to get a 3D appearance in 5. Because I love Demon Hooo so much, you'll get 2 fun facts for today. The first of them being is that his base stats get higher when comparing Strange Journey to Strange Journey Redux, and that his passwords for both Strange Journeys is "You can't laugh or cry now." In conclusion, Demon Hooo is a 10 out of 10, he's the only soldier we stand in this house. Next up is no one. We're done with the Jack Frost family. The Jacks are a really weird set of demons that Atlas seems to use whenever they need to dick around for one reason or another. I'm not complaining, these demons tend to be really fun and really cool. I planned on making this a series, building up to the release of 5, but it looks like we're only gonna have time for this one video. Might do some more afterwards, I don't know. Maybe you should like and subscribe to know when or if I do. I also got some content about 5 on the way, so subscribe for that too. With that being said, as always, this is your host FUURI'S signing out.